Welcome to the deep dive. We take your sources and really dig into them for the most compelling insights. Today, we're looking at this unscripted comedy rant about travel, specifically trains in the UK and Europe. And our mission really is to unpack that gap, between the expectation of travel and the actual, sometimes hilarious, sometimes infuriating reality on the ground. We're hunting for those surprising facts, those moments that just feel incredibly relatable. You sent over some great stuff from a comedian's recent tour, his YouTube video detailing these encounters with public transport. So let's get into it, see what we find. Okay, so our journey starts with his first impressions of Europe that summer. He lands, and bam, intense heat, especially Germany. And what really got him was how unprepared things seemed, like
Mhm.
homes without window AC or even those split units, just hot.
Right. And that immediate climate shock,
Yeah.
it's more than just discomfort. It kind of sets the tone, doesn't it? It's
Yeah.
this instant reminder that travel often starts by challenging your baseline. You have to adapt right away. And that skill, as we'll see, becomes pretty crucial.
Yeah, definitely. So the heat was one thing, but his idea of Germany was also shaped by this friend he mentioned, friends married to a German national. And the friend painted this picture. Germans are, very green, environmentally conscious. They've got this deep awareness of their history, maybe a sense of regret or responsibility. And crucially, the friend says they are very punctual.
Ah, yes. Punctuality. That stereotype is just so incredibly strong globally, isn't it? We all sort of carry that idea around. And what's fascinating is how that perception, that really ingrained idea, shakes what a visitor expects, especially for something like public transport. Sets a really high bar.
Exactly. And here's where it gets really interesting because, like, immediately after hearing very punctual, the comedian he quips that this statement discredited everything the friend just said. Why do you think that immediate reaction was so strong, that clash?
Well, it's that direct, undeniable clash, isn't it, between this powerful cultural narrative, punctuality as a German core value, and his immediate practical experience.
Yeah.
When something that fundamental gets shattered, especially in a system like transport where time is everything, it just undermines the whole mental map you have of a place. You have to rethink it all.
And you could tell he really felt that rethinking process. He said it felt like the whole of UK and Europe together decided to change him as a person just through their trains. Like, before he'd missed trains, okay, fine. But this time, the trains weren't even moving. Then there was Berlin, just pure confusion with the train system there. He talks about seeing like 50 types of trains. The S-Bahn, the U-Bahn, which apparently he first heard as U-Bahn. Then our trains, trams, buses, even this FX line for the airport, just overwhelming. He did figure out U was underground, but Hus, total mystery. Someone jokingly told him it meant Sarikbahn, like road closed?
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's not quite it. It's Das Schnellbahn City Rapid Railway.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a perfect example, isn't it? How local terms, things locals take for granted, just become huge hurdles when you're trying to navigate a big new city. It's that feeling of baffling complexity. I'm sure many of you listening have felt that.
Absolutely. And the inconsistency. He joked about road trains sometimes go underground and the underground trains come up for vitamin D. Just
Yeah.
this feeling of no consistency anywhere,
Mm.
which is, yeah, really disorienting when you're trying to build a mental model of how things work. And then the Hauptbahnhof thing, the main station. He expected, logically perhaps, that the main station in a city would always be called Hauptbahnhof. Simple enough, right?
Seems logical, yes.
But nope, he kept getting directed elsewhere, like to Mercedes instead of Hauptbahnhof in Cologne.
Yeah.
And he described it as feeling like the whole of Germany together decided to provide maximum inconvenience to this tourist.
That feeling. It's comedic, sure, but so relatable for travelers. It really nails the challenge of navigating these complex systems, especially when local names or, unexpected diversions just completely contradict what you think you understand from signs or general knowledge.
Yeah.
That moment where it feels like the system itself is designed to confuse you.
So yeah, Germany definitely set a chaotic tone. But then came the UK, which apparently had its own brand of surprises lined up. It started with him realizing that just checking a weather app's standard advice for travel, right, was totally not enough. Nobody warned him he might need to check the daily papers for things like strikes or vandalism or driver issues affecting the trains.
Right. It's a whole other layer of pre-travel checking that you might not anticipate, especially coming from somewhere with maybe more predictable services.
Exactly. And this hit home hard with one specific incident. He was trying to get from Birmingham to London. Usually, a 2-hour trip. He gets to the station, looks at the screen, and it just says, "Due to industrial action, train activity will be affected." Very neutral phrasing.
Industrial action.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the standard term for a strike or work slowdown. And its impact on public transport is, well, massive. It means workers are protesting, usually over pay or conditions, and the result is disruption, often complete shutdown. It's a huge hurdle for travelers.
And the language nuance here is just brilliant. He talks to this older Indian gentleman who happened to be a station master, and the station master clarifies that affected in, quote, Birmingham Punjabi English, basically just meant canceled. Straight up cancel. The comedian was just baffled. When did affect mean cancel, he asks?
That is such a great example of how language shifts in specific contexts, isn't it? It's like a local code. What the station master meant in that specific community's way of speaking was total stoppage. It's a reminder that even common words can carry very different weights depending on who's saying them and where. Creates these, well, frustrating but also quite funny misunderstandings.
So trains are out. He desperately looks for alternatives. Buses. Also sold out because of this train strike, of course. So then he tries what he called his Indian methods to get onto a packed bus, pleading with the conductor, offering £5, even offering an apple he had, suggesting he could just sit on the gearbox, anything. But the conductor, not having it. Firm refusal. And apparently the conductor stereotyped him, calling him Habibi.
That really throws the cultural differences into sharp relief, doesn't it?
Yeah.
In some places, a bit of personal negotiation, maybe some pleading might actually work or at least be understood. But you hit a wall against strict regulations, especially in a different cultural context like UK public transport. It just doesn't fly. And that Habibi detail, it's interesting. See, Arabic means my love or my dear.
Yeah.
Used affectionately, normally. But in that kind of situation, from an official, it could easily come across as patronizing, maybe even a bit of casual stereotyping. Highlights a disconnect there.
Yeah, definitely a loaded moment. So after all that, back to Germany. He's trying to get from Berlin to Munich this time. And he makes this really interesting point. He actually prefers a cancellation over a delay because, he says, cancellation has a sense of finality. You know where you stand.
That resonates, actually, from a psychological standpoint, the uncertainty of a delay.
Yeah.
It can be much more stressful than the certainty of a cancellation. Cancellation means, okay, plan B. Delay means limbo. You're just stuck waiting, can't really commit to anything else. It's mentally draining.
Totally. And he describes this delay as excruciating. He's at the platform at 9 a.m. for a 9.41 train. He won't eat, won't drink, because he's terrified if he goes to the bathroom, the train will suddenly appear and leave without him. That classic travel anxiety just dialed way up.
Oh, I've been there. That fear of missing it by seconds.
Then the coach numbers just add to the confusion. The platform signs show coaches 23, 24, 25, then 44. He's like, what kind of math is this? Not even Fibonacci. Which, honestly, trying to find your coach on some of those European trains can feel exactly like that. Random numbers scattered everywhere.
It really can feel arbitrary sometimes, yeah. Another little layer of stress.
And the delays just kept piling on. First 60 minutes, then 90 minutes, then 105 minutes late. And his reaction is just perfect. He charts his changing needs based on the delay length. After 60 minutes, okay, now I can use the restroom. After 90, now I can drink coffee. After 105, now I'm looking for a shower.
Yeah, you reach a point of absurdity where you just have to laugh, right?
Yeah.
Your whole schedule, your basic needs are dictated by this ever-shifting departure time.
Exactly. And the final absurdity. He says he finally gets on the train, it starts moving, and then it splits in two while running. One half supposedly heading off to the desert, the other back to Berlin. I mean, obviously hyperbole, but what a visual.
It's a fantastic visual. And while it's comedic exaggeration, it perfectly captures that feeling of complete loss of control. That sense that the journey has become utterly unpredictable, almost surreal. It shows how even supposedly efficient systems can feel chaotic and nonsensical when things go wrong. And maybe it also hints at our need to create a story, even a wild one, to make sense of the chaos.
So after hearing all this, what's the takeaway for you listening? What does it all mean?
Well, these stories really hammer home that gap, don't they? Between the slick ads, the cultural stereotypes of efficiency, and the often messy, frustrating, unpredictable reality of actually traveling. It really underlines how important it is to not just plan, but to build in flexibility, to be adaptable, and honestly, to keep a sense of humor about it all. Because things will go sideways. Absolutely. And this kind of discussion, it encourages us to think critically, doesn't it, about how information is presented versus how we actually experience things on the ground. It's a reminder, too, that often it's when things go wrong, the unexpected bits, the challenges that we get the best stories, and sometimes maybe even surprisingly deep insights into different cultures, different systems, and our own resilience. It forces you to engage in a different way, developing that tolerance for ambiguity, finding the funny side. It's a skill.
We've definitely taken a deep dive into the wild world of European train travel today, all thanks to these hilarious but also really insightful observations from the sources you shared.
And maybe, as you think about these journeys, here's a final thought to chew on. In this world where we're always chasing seamlessness, perfect efficiency,
Mm-hmm.
is there actually some inherent value, maybe even a unique kind of learning, that only comes from that beautifully messy, unscripted chaos of travel gone slightly wrong? Something to mull over until our next deep dive.